All right, so I want to address a couple things. This cylinder that I showed in the video the other day has generated quite a bit of interest. I know a couple people, or I think one person at the time of shooting this video, one person's commented, and I've received 3 emails about the cylinder, suggesting what it might be. I have a good idea of what it might be. I think it is an older quick hitch cylinder. However, I cannot confirm that just based on appearance. Deere use these cylinders quite a bit, and the thing about it is there are no clues in this box. The part number that you can barely make out, it's an LVB number. It is not related to a hydraulic cylinder. And so really, it's just a matter of sitting down and trying to figure out what it is. Now, one of the clues that you can do, sometimes the cylinder has a part number stamped on it. It does not, this cylinder does not in this case. It is a used cylinder. You can see that it's been used. The next thing I'm going to look for is, and how I'm aging this, is these Parker hoses with the raised lettering were used in the early 90s. So I'm guessing it is an older cylinder. But the next thing you can look at is occasionally, which this one looks like it does, it will have part numbers on the ends of the hoses, either as aluminum tags or as plastic tags or even stamped in the crimp. In this particular case, AM19952. So that is the part number. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look that up on my phone. We're going to figure out what this might be. And so what we're going to do is I'm actually going to do this on my phone. Hopefully this shows up in a video. All right, so AM19952. Search. No results found. So I need to go back and look. AM11952. So missed a 1 there. So, oops, that's the documents. Somehow got on documents. Part number. All right, so it comes back as a bunch of rotary brooms, snow throwers, rotary brooms, blades. All right, so tractor attachments. So that is right there. The hose, let's see here. It is a hydraulic hose, so we're going to click on it. And it is the hydraulic hose for the implement for the quick hitch. The hose itself is $62.29. But that right there, so that it shows the cylinder connected to it, looks like it would be the angle cylinder. So this is the angle cylinder off of a quick hitch. Now, I had my guesses. However, when I first looked at it in the box, I was thinking maybe it was a new style lift cylinder for, say, an X series, something along those lines. One of the things I want to stress with doing a little detective work like this is when you buy parts like I buy parts, a lot of folks seem to think that, you can just go buy parts and you can sell them. There's a lot of detective work that goes into these parts because, say you buy something like this at an auction, you don't know what it is unless, you have good experience, looking at it. This cylinder right here could be an X series lift cylinder. It could be could belong to a compact tractor because I got a lot of compact tractor parts with this parts purchase. There's any number of things it could be, and it could be worth anywhere from $10 to $200 or more. Now, the next thing you have to do when you look at these parts is I'm actually concerned that this cylinder is not good because it seems to have some oil around the seal here. So what I need to do is I need to get some hoses, I need to get it hooked up to a machine, and I need to put some pressure to it to make sure indeed this cylinder is good. And maybe it's not good. You don't know. You take a chance when you buy stuff like this. But I want to show you some examples that I've got. So I'm not necessarily just doing this video right here to show you about the parts, but just as an example, I purchased this pallet of rock shafts and everything else with the same purchase. Seems like, oh, okay, great, rock shafts and stuff like that. Well, do you have any idea how many rock shafts are out there? I spent the better part of 2.5 hours going through about 40 different parts diagrams, and keep in mind that I have some experience with some of this stuff, and I'm still not 100% sure I'm right on a couple things. But I have all of these tagged with the correct part numbers. And so now what I can do is I can figure out what belongs with what. Now, keeping in mind that this is 2.5 hours of my time that I spent with this, and these are decks, these are rock shaft parts for older compact utility tractors. So say like the 2320, 25, a lot of these parts right here for the 2320, 2520. And this right here is actually a newer style part for a 4010, 4115. These I cannot figure out. I've got 5 of these silver brackets. There's some type of adjustable deck bracket, I would assume, but I cannot figure out what parts go to them. So I'm just going to right now punt, and if I see a part like that later, we'll get into it. But this is what I'm talking about when it comes to these parts. I've had a couple people ask me, well, how did you get into parts? I just kind of fell into it. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the research. Part of my day job is research. And so I enjoy the research, getting into parts. I enjoy talking to people that have these, like the guy that I bought all these parts from, super nice. I bet you I talked to him for 4 hours or so as we were loading stuff up. So, I mean, it's just one of those things when it comes to parts like this, you can't necessarily, and this is what really aggravates me a lot about eBay, is folks will just get these parts and they'll just slap a part number on them because they think that's what it is, when in fact you can't confirm it. Now, luckily, we were able to confirm this by a part number on the hydraulic hose. It's still attached. But I mean, even so, I mean, look, there's this hydraulic hose in here. What if, I mean, obviously it's too big, but what does that mean? So next step for this cylinder is I've got to find some hoses, because I don't trust this hose because it looks like it's broken right there. Got to find some hoses I can put on it and then pressurize it and work it a little bit and see how it works. So I'm going to try to do that next. I may or may not include it on this video, but that's what we're going to do next. All right, so let's test the cylinder out. Now, I've already tested it out and I can tell you it works. But one thing that I want to pay close attention to is I've already got a leak over here. That is actually the end of the hose that is leaking, but that's not too big a deal. But I wanted to spray that with brake clean, get it all, I'll actually dry some of it off, that way we don't have to wait for it, because that's just going to sit there and leak over there. So that'll give us an idea if it's leaking or not at the seal here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the X up. Oops. And then we'll move it in and out a couple times. We're just going to call it good right there. And I don't see any hydraulic fluid. I see a little bit of brake clean left, but I don't see any hydraulic fluid, so I would say this is a good cylinder. Now, normally I would let it sit there under pressure for a little bit, but this system that I've cobbled together here is just simply not that good. I'm working with some bad hoses and some fittings. I don't know why I don't have all the right fittings. Normally I do. I've got a whole hydraulic kit right there with all of my normal fittings, but I used a lot when I've repaired a couple snow blowers a while back, and so I guess I need to work on refilling my stash. I have lots of these ends, and I have lots of the outlets, I guess the male outlets, and I have a lot of female outlets, but I don't have very many lines that we need. I do have like a 15-foot line that I use for some other testing, but I didn't want to use 15 feet of line all coiled up here when my other one was, you know, not that much. So we're gonna call this cylinder good, and I'll get it cleaned up and get all the hydraulic fluid out of it, and we will go from there. So thanks for watching. Well, there she is, part that I am comfortable selling. Got it all cleaned up and got all the fluid out of it. Got the part number on it. Did not realize that these cylinders new were $429. But overall, happy with the product. And actually, I found out that in the paint here, you can barely make out an old part number, but you can't make it all out. I don't know if you can see some of that, but the old part number was AM119905, and now it's AM147210. I'm pretty sure that as the angling kit, you can get it significantly cheaper, because a lot of times whole goods will be cheaper than the part itself if you can still get the whole goods. Up next, I got to figure out this drive shaft right here. It's got some marking on it. It says too long for 445 or 425, and the opening is too big for a for this style deck. This part of the shaft right here is the same as the HC deck, but this is not. So, and it's a roll pin. So I got to work on that, and yeah, we'll go from there. So that's it for today's videos, and leave your questions, comment below. If you're interested in this cylinder, drop me an email. I got a couple of people already interested in it, but I will sell it here. It'll probably be listed on the website, not on eBay. So if you want to buy parts and you see them on eBay, seriously, let me know and I'll list them on the website, and you can get basically at least a 15% discount, because of what it cost me to sell on eBay versus my website. So anyway, thanks for watching.